What's up, guys? We're back with another episode of off season. So we're gonna go through a chest day, a solo chest day this time today, with kind of breaking down some of the nuanced stuff of what I do to target and really focus on contracting my chest. Make sure you follow along the whole video and pay attention to certain points, because we're gonna also probably say random bullshit, but we're also gonna say some very important stuff where we really go over how things should be done to really bring up your chest the most. So we're starting with table flies because it's Monday and it's always a busy chest day in here. Main focus with this is we're gonna go pretty heavy still, but we're mainly just trying to warm up. So we're getting a good center fly. Now a little explanation into positioning for this. I have it set really wide and I'm not walking incredibly far forward because I'm actually still getting a stretch on the pec. And then another thing that a lot of people don't think about doing is where their feet are positioned. You see a lot of people coming and doing flies like this, but it pushes my body back. So I'm actually losing my position and some of the pressure off my chest. You necessarily won't feel that happening, but if you're stepped forward with your feet staggered for better balance, you can squeeze and push your chest up to keep your scapula more retracted to actually get a greater contraction on the chest and drive through all the fibers. It doesn't matter which foot's forward, but it's about balance, especially since it's bodybuilding and we're focusing on hypertrophy. If you're losing mechanical tension because you have to focus on balance, then that's probably not the greatest way to do an exercise. So like, in a sense, that's why some machines can be better than doing free weights in a certain sense. There's always a time and place for doing free weights as well. But if I don't have to focus on stabilizing and balancing, I can get more out of a set to focus on hypertrophy. Another thing I'm doing is I could come lower, but I'm also trying to make sure that I'm getting the upper chest involved. Because like if you're doing a fly here and you poke on your chest, it's a little softer. Like this is nice and firm. So if I can come here, it's firm all the way through. So I'm contracting all the fibers of my chest throughout the entire set versus just getting that pectoral major. I'm trying to warm up the pectoral major and the minor at the same time to get the greatest effect out of doing these flies. Oh yeah. Oh, if you guys haven't tried doing flies with just a strap, we're not selling these yet, but we will be soon. So if you want to try it, what I used to do was just take the handle and slide it out of the way. So it's like that, and then do a fly. So for better example, just like this. But that's why we will soon be coming out with these, so that you're able to set that up without having to slide a handle out of the way. We're gonna try and make them cheap and affordable and comfortable. Hopefully they won't cost any more than $15 to purchase online, but we will make an announcement on Instagram and YouTube once these are coming out. Now we're gonna move to incline press. We're gonna find some plates. That was a good warm-up set. Body is a little sore from a very deep tissue massage I got on Saturday. Thankfully, it's just my back that's sore, not my chest, but definitely feel it. I'm very, very sore everywhere. And my legs are sore. We're gonna throw more weight on this. Incline chest, pretty self-explanatory. Don't wanna have your elbows too flared out. You wanna kind of stay slightly tucked, but not as tucked as if you were doing like flat bench. What's nice about this rail system is being able to slide back and forth, but I like putting this in a higher loaded position handle wise so that I get a lot of pressure into my pectoral minor, but then that also still, I have the ability to tuck my elbows a little bit. Whew. And what's nice about this is there's multiple spots to re-rack it so you don't get crushed. I think everybody also tries to push through too hard and they waste and exhaust so much energy that they start winging their scapula, which puts strain on your back. So I say push until you know that it's not gonna go up, kind of hold it and then just rack it. Because now I can put it back into my lift-off position and then start the next set, not so deep. We're gonna do 2 more sets on here. We're gonna go up in weight, probably just by 25. Then the last set, we'll go back to 2 and see how many we get.
Hi guys, this is Damien's podcast or this video for YouTube. I just want to say hello. He's here. The man is getting big. His legs are so much bigger. Y'all better watch out when it comes to seasons.
Oh.
It's a different animal now.
Oh yeah. What up? Oh fuck. Woo. That was a brutal set. That last one was terrible. Great pump. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Oh. Woo. Strength was better a few weeks ago before I went to the Arnold. Well, prior to going to the Arnold, I almost tore my bicep in my left arm, so had to take a week off. Then went to the Arnold, then got back, had an ear infection, so it didn't work out that week. Last week we worked out like 3 times. We did 4 times, chest, back, shoulders, and legs. And then now we're back on a new week. Body's feeling good, biceps fully healed. So now we can start pushing it again. Strength went down a little bit prior to this, three or 4 weeks ago when we last did a real heavy chest day. We were able to get 3 plates on each side for 6. I know I did more than 6 with 2 1/4, so pretty decent. But we're gonna focus on going heavy as we can, but also prioritizing volume for a little bit until we know that the minor bicep injury is like fully healed. Off season can become not off season to no season pretty quick. Currently, because of the injury and the ear infection, we are taking growth hormone at night with BPC 157 and TB 500, so the Wolverine stack. Vasogen, a bioregulator peptide for blood pressure and for pump. Then IGF-1 LR3. Also, first thing in the morning, we are taking TA1, thymosin alpha 1, a immunity peptide, which can help with recovering from being sick, using it as like a antiviral and infection preventative. We were taking amoxicillin, which completely wreaked havoc on my gut health, just like any antibiotic or medication like that. Gear cycle wise, we are running 600 test sip with 400 milligrams of equipoise a week, broken up into 6 shots throughout the week, some super draw pre-workout, and that's about it. So that's pretty much everything encompassing what I'm doing cycle wise right now. Oh, fuck. Woo. All right. Oh my God. Oh, my ass. Oh. That body work I had done was all posterior chain, so my legs feel wrecked. I feel like someone literally smashed my hamstrings into oblivion. Oh, they're so sore. So now we're on the hammer strength incline press. I'm gonna explain some things, then grab something to make the machine a little bit better. As you see, a lot of people set up like this, which literally turns this into a flat press. If your hips are really far out on the seat, you are just turning it into a flat press. The chair and setup is already made for it to be inclined because of the direction of the handles and the impingement of the machine. It is already set up to do incline. So you are supposed to be here aligned with the pad for your entire back. You are also supposed to have it low enough to where the handle lines up with your pectoral minor. And so if I go here, if you think about the way that I'm driving now, where that handle is lining up is my pectoral major, and the way I'm pushing is just straight into a flat press. So that's why you're supposed to be here. You want the seat slightly low enough that you can tuck your pelvis underneath the bottom of the back pad. That way you can get in, measure out. I like to grab a little bit wider, make sure I'm nice and retracted, and then press through. But recently I found out a way to make it even harder on the pectoral minor and really cut out the pectoral major. So I'm gonna grab a pad real quick and show you guys that. All right, so this foam pad, I'm gonna place it here. Kind of tricky to do by yourself because you just gotta make sure it doesn't fall. You want it to be above your arch, which it does make it a little bit harder to get behind the handles, but then I can raise my chest up a little bit more. Oh, and then you get stuck. But for someone who has a little bit shorter arms, it might be a little easier to get in. But it is, in my opinion, a lot more tension on the pectoral minor, just because as you keep driving up, that slight elevation makes you really drive up a lot through the upper part of the chest, because instead of it slowly rotating up, it's really like driving. So I feel a great more amount of pressure at the top of my chest. Recently discovered this like 2 weeks ago, a week ago. Yeah, last chest day I figured this out, and it was pretty nice and effective. That set was pretty smooth. We're gonna try and go up to 4 plates. But with this added extra incline, that could make it pretty fucking hard. At least it's not too crazy hot here in the gym today, which is nice. Feel warm, it's not cold. It's like perfect temperature in here for a good pump. Pretty lean, I would say. You can almost see striations in my triceps. You can see them a lot more in this one. I've kind of been stuck at 4 plates. I mean, at my strongest, I have done 5. It's been probably a month since I've tried 5. We're probably not gonna go for that today. We'll see if I can get 10 of 4 plates. Either way, I think some people prioritize weight too much on this machine. I love the hammer strength press. The incline one and the flat press is pretty good by them, but I think you get a better pump from it than you do actual like strength gains. So I really think the translation of doing 5 plates on here doesn't really do much for you in other aspects. I know a lot of guys who can do 5 plates on here for a decent amount of rep. Is their form the best while doing it and other things? I can't definitively say, but I feel like they're not getting that full stretch when they come down. But if you were to take someone who can do 5 plates on here and move them over to dumbbells, they're probably not going to be able to do relatively the same amount of weight. When I myself and my buddy Steven are very strong at dumbbells. Steven can do 5 plates in this, but I would still say his strength and form doing like relatively the same weight as this would equal with dumbbells is actually far greater, like form-wise and range of motion-wise, versus his range of motion with 5 plates on here. That's why sometimes prioritizing, we're bodybuilders, so prioritizing weight isn't always the most important thing. It is, in a sense. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, 4 with the extra incline from that pad is brutal. As you see, the movement speed from like here to here was perfectly fine, but then from here to here, it significantly slows down because I'm having to literally squeeze that much harder to actually keep the weight moving. That's why if you give this a try, you will notice that as you keep going up, it's like more weight is getting put on top of your pectoral minor. So that's why I think adding in this pad is actually a good little trick, especially if you're wanting to bring up the upper chest. Since we only did like, I think 5 reps, shit, it could have been 4. But we're gonna go back to 3. See, I put my butt out, but I also slide it back afterwards. Because like I said, you don't want to be sat too far out, even with this extra pad. Oh shit. Yep. 10 and a half. I counted that time. You guys will realize if you count the reps I do, most of the time I don't count, but that time I count. Because I usually just forget, to be honest. Now we're gonna do a flat press. So we're just gonna transition these over here. Flat press, I'm not too worried about going crazy heavy. I already have a pretty well developed chest. My main priority chest-wise this off season is to really bring up the fullness of my upper chest. So we're gonna focus on like 3 sets, really good pump on here, and then we'll move to a pec deck fly where we will also prioritize the upper chest, which that one will be kind of fun and interesting to show you guys with how my straps that I use will be working on that, because we will attach them to the pec deck. But this way my handle can be kind of adjustable. It's a little hard to squeeze my hands into the strap because of how short they are, but when we come out and we're selling them, they are gonna be a little bit longer than the prototype. There'll be a few things that are different from the prototype to the first generation like sales ones. So cloth is gonna be, the nylon cloth is gonna be a little bit thicker to make it a little bit more comfortable to go heavy with, as well as a little wider and a longer general strap. So just more full coverage in all aspects. Oh yeah, good upper chest day though. The striations are really popping because of traveling the injury and getting sick, I've lost a little bit of weight. I think our last YouTube video prior to this one, we were probably close to 270 to 268. Sunday, we weighed in at flat with no water. We weighed in at 256 with food and water. I'm generally walking around at like 264, but my weight was flat and dry, was like 268. We've lost a little bit of weight. Most of it was, I feel like, water and some fat, because I still have gotten a lot of steps and movement in while my bicep was healing. So I feel a far bit leaner. Everybody keeps asking me when my next show is. As of right now, I'm 49 weeks out. It'd be the longest prep ever. 49 weeks out, you know, no big deal. Oh, shit. Whew. That was a good set. Oh. Oh. So while I was at the airport, I learned some posing critiques from can't remember the guy's name, but the wheelchair ambassador for the men's wheelchair bodybuilding. He's got the cool spinners on his wheelchair and stuff. So he's like the head organizer and for the wheelchair division. He taught me some cool kind of posing critiques and why you see certain bodybuilders pose that way is to actually help them like tighten more. So that's why you'll see some go like this, but they're not grabbing and pulling apart, they're pushing in. But he says whatever is comfortable with your hands. So I like to go knuckles together because that's how I do a fly. So, and I'm really squeezing my fists together nice and hard, like I'm doing a lower fly. And then he said his least favorite thing to see, and he thinks it's really dumb that a lot of bodybuilders do it, is when they go like this, because he's like, you're not really doing anything and you're not able to flex the chest as hard. So even if you're going from like an upright most muscular to a crab, like a crab, you want to push both the hands together like this and really push through and bring your chest up to pop the traps out. Honestly, I feel like it saves you a fair amount of energy because I'm pushing together to cause a contraction versus like actually flexing and squeezing the muscle. I've kind of incorporated that same idea with like posing my legs. So I used to just like stand and squeeze like this, but now I'm setting in more. And as you see, if I just set and rotate my hips back, my legs pop a lot more versus if I actually squeeze and flex, I can just pop back. So it's good to take advice, in my opinion, from anybody that's been in the sport way longer than you. They got far in the sport and became a promoter or the head of the wheelchair division or whatever they're doing pertaining to the sport still. They got there for a reason. So you don't just have to take advice from Mr. Olympia, is pretty much what I'm saying. If they're a top 10 pro, top 15 pro in their industry, there's lots of bodybuilders out there. So if you're top 15 in the world and they're giving you advice, I'd probably listen to it. Oh, thank God there's this knee thing there. Probably wouldn't be able to get up without it. Yeah, we're gonna do one more set, get a really good pump. Then when we do our sets of flies, we're also gonna prioritize some some chest poses in between our rest periods to really draw some blood into there to get the chest as full as possible. And then a little quick pose, and that's about it. I've been posing more often just for fun, just to always get better at posing. I think people who, well, I mean, some people don't even practice when they're in prep. Not to bash on Sam Solik or anything, but I mean, Sam looked great at the Arnold, came in very peeled. His lower lats could have been brought up a little bit more in the off season, but things like that, muscle tissue wise, come with time. So I think overall changes physically were really well for him, but what could have displayed how well he changed his physique from amateur Arnold to the pro Arnold would have been his posing. His back double bicep wasn't the greatest. His front double bicep wasn't either. He does too deep of a vacuum, which makes him lose the control of his rib cage, where his ribs are more flared out. We'll explain that when we go into the posing room. So there's certain things that you don't want to do. It could make your waist look smaller, but it could also hinder the ability of making your lats look wider because of the rib flare. So it's just certain little things. We all know from seeing his side relaxed poses that he needs to practice those relaxed poses a lot more. But he had a lot of time to get better at posing, which is how you can tell he did not practice posing a lot. It's one thing that most bodybuilders don't prioritize enough, which could cause you to sweat on stage, make you go flat because you're burning through your glucose too quick from how long you have to pose. And all those contributing factors could get you moved into a worse placement. So if you're not posing, especially during prep, at least twice a day, once in the morning, once in the afternoon, or do your cardio then pose. However you want to fit it in, just do it, because that's the playing field for us, is being on stage and posing. Working out is just what makes the physique look good to do the poses, but if you're not practicing the posing, you're not going to do well. Oh fuck. Woo! That was ass. Oh, fuck. Yeah, that last set was hard. Oh yeah, it's very heavy. It's a pain in the ass, but that's why we're gonna make them longer. All right, so this is what we're doing. Like I said, with the straps, I kind of wiggle play a little bit to get in there. Oh shit. Fuck, that's hard. So as you guys also see, I have the handle positioned upwards versus like where the regular handle is. So I have it that high so that I'm not really trying to squeeze through here at all, because if I come down, I can get a lot more pressure in here, but then if I'm up here, it's a lot firmer, and I really want to bring in pump and contraction into my upper chest, because like I said earlier, I'm focusing on this area. I want this area to be as big as this area. And with how my chest is shaped, I have a lot of work to do to bring up this area, because I want it to be even with how large the pectoral major is, which is really hard to do because it's such a smaller area of the chest. But when I hit this, or like a pose where I'm trying to display the chest, I want all of it to look full. I don't want to look like it's sloping up towards the collarbone at all. I want like that shelf on the front of my chest. So what I was doing there was squeezing and mimicking the movement. That's known as blood rushing, or posing between sets, but you want to prioritize the area you're working to draw more blood in. This is going to be our last set. Then we're going to go pose. Oh, my chest is red.
That's a good pump.
Yeah. So it's like, god damn. Oh yeah. Ooh. All right. Posing time. So guys, we ran through a little bit of just mandatory poses, but I'm going to explain where Sam could do better in his front double bicep with his core, because he overly vacuums. So he really sucks in his diaphragm too deep, which one can flare out your ribs, and two, cause you to become winded faster and make you lose your ability to hit your other poses good, because your rate of breathing is going to increase, and then you're going to start distending so that you can get enough oxygen to make it through all the other poses. But when you're like that, I can't rotate as well. But if I hit here, as you see, I was able to keep my ribs down and tight while holding a partial vacuum and not lose control of my waist. My ribs are tight, my core looks slim and tapered, my lats are wider, I'm able to rotate back more, and I'm able to breathe. If you pull a really deep vacuum, you kind of lose that ability to breathe in and out through your nose and taking those small breaths. It is the most important thing while being on stage, is maintaining core control. Even Nick Walker at the Arnold, his critique from Steve was that he still, in between his poses, loses his core and lets his gut out. So going from like and then where you do want to let it out is your back double. Judges can no longer see your core. You just have to keep the legs tight and hit your back poses. That's where you can regain some stamina from hitting your poses Yeah, guys, that's it on posing. I just wanted to add in those critiques so you guys can learn a little bit of what it takes to pose on stage. We're not actually in prep or anything. We're still in off season and do Fit World. They're around the same time of the year. So that way I will, no matter what, be in prep for a show. So if I do get the invitation from the Arnold, I will already be in prep and ready, and we will just switch goals of which show we're doing. So hopefully we get the invitation. If not, expect to see me at Fit World next year, where we will be bringing a whole new package compared to last year. We've already brought up the legs a little bit. We're gonna continue to bring up the rest of the frame and physique so that we can come in a whole different beast for next year. So stay tuned for more episodes, guys. We're gonna be dropping a lot more videos on knowledge, lifting, and just fun stuff. Yeah, stay tuned for more stuff on the YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and we will see you guys next time.